All right, and now we're live. And of
We
course, as
are
soon as we go
live.
live, I forget something. I remember something.
I swear we're the same person.
No, real
Every
big
time,
facts.
never fails.
Yep. Misha, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm better and constantly getting better.
Good. I'm seeing people join in. Misha, Stephanie. Stephanie on here is lazy and golden.
Hey, Steph. Hey,
Danielle.
Danielle. Oh, she made me pull out the makeup. I was just telling her how it feels weird wearing lipstick because I hardly ever wear makeup anymore.
She got on the lime crime, y'all. The
Yes,
throwback.
it's a liquid lipstick, so it won't wear out mid live. That is a cute mug.
Oh, thank you. It's
Were
like
those
based off of
sunflowers?
Vincent Van Gogh. I'm like, I love his paintings and everything.
Mm.
He was so emo and like his vibe and everything. So I really love him. But I have this and there's an actual teapot that goes with it.
There's a fragrance that has like the background is
Mhm.
his painting.
Oh,
I have
cool.
to send you a picture. I have it in the room.
Yes. Hey, Faye.
Yay,
Yes.
Danielle's back.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I love to always start a bit early just to get people in, and then I start exactly at 5. Um, so we get a few moments to just chat with people, see how everybody's doing. I know Danielle, I think, yeah, on the West Coast, they're still at work. It's only 3 there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah,
Time differences are wild.
I know. Like it always creeps me out. It's like for me, it's the confirmation that this is just fake.
Oh yeah, 100% man-made. Like, what you mean we're just gonna go for it an hour and throw everybody's schedule off for 3 months?
Right.
And I
Oh,
used to live in Arizona where there was no time change, and so it was weird having to adjust with everyone around me.
oh,
Hmm.
that I always wonder how the states because there are some states that feel like no, y'all can keep that. I always
I
wondered how they deal with that.
I
Is
think
Arizona
Arizona's
the
the
only one?
only one. Hmm. I think Arizona's the only one. Yeah.
Oh
And
wow!
so, like, I would half the year be 2 hours different from my family on the East Coast, and then the other half would be 3 hours different.
Oh wow! I
Hmm.
read somewhere that Arizona is currently now giving free childcare or either subsidized childcare to like everybody in the state, and I was like,
So I
I
need
don't
to
even.
move back, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. What?
I was like, I don't even have children, but if y'all
I did not
doing
know
that,
that.
yeah, it was recent. It's a recent
My
change.
goodness.
Yeah,
Huh. I wonder if they're trying to offset because their cost of living went up a lot after I left. Wow.
that
That's
part.
amazing. That needs to be
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, and that's the tough part about West Coast because I really would love to live on the West Coast, but it's like everywhere on the West Coast is just really expensive.
Yeah. And so, like, when I lived in Arizona, I moved from Arizona in 2019, and I was there for 10 years. And while I was there, like, a lot of celebrities would live in Arizona and then just do the commute to LA because the cost of living in Arizona. Like, I lived in a 5 bedroom, like 3,000 square foot house in Arizona,
Oh,
and all
wow.
the houses have a pool, and I paid $1,100 in rent. And it did not go up year over year. I was there for 5 years and it never went up.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Did
I know it's gone up since.
Mhm.
Like, the cost of living has skyrocketed since, but yeah, I mean, I used to go to the clubs in Arizona and see the little brother that was on Brandy. He was there, like Ray J, like a lot of celebrities hung out in Arizona because it was so much more cost efficient.
Wow. Did you ever see a lot of Scorpios?
Like
Scorpions. Sorry.
scorpions. Um, I recall seeing one,
Hey Jay.
but I probably came into contact with more because a lot of them are transparent. Like, the most dangerous ones are transparent. So, like, they always say, like, have a those lights that make stuff light up, like in
Mhm.
neon colors. I can't think of what it's called. Because Yeah, both of them you can't see. Now I also saw like snakes and wild pigs and stuff. Those are more common.
That's terrifying. Okay. Well, it's 5 p.m. We're live on the Red Lip Talk. And hi, Nubia. Yes, we have our red lips on. Today, I am introducing and interviewing Niche. She's quite new to the Substack streets. I did have to like put a bug in her ear a couple times, like just join, see if you like it. Um, but I am glad she's here. She's a member of the Embodying Spirit Collective. Um,
Thank you.
yes, her locks are beautiful. And I want you to take some time to introduce yourself.
Oh gosh, I suck at these. I'm Niche. I reside in North Carolina, as we kind of talked about before. I was in Arizona. I've ping ponged across the United States forever. About me, I'm a creative at heart, and over time, my desire to create has overshadowed my desire to make money. So I'm going through quite the transition right now, but it's a good one. Um, I'm married. My wife is amazing. We have 3 kids. They're 11, 5. Yeah, she was turned 5, and 3. Um, as far as like my creative endeavors, I love doing beadwork. I started a waist bead company after COVID hit, and it kept me afloat after being laid off. And I'm expanding on that and getting that back up and running. Um, I also am a marketer. I help a lot of local nonprofits with marketing and website design and social media and stuff like that. What else about me? In my spare time, I like to read, bake, and play video games. I
Mhm.
play I play Animal Crossing way more than I should. Yeah, I think that's about it.
There's
I
one
work,
thing.
I work better with prompts.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing I want to talk about too. Your photography.
Oh yeah, I do that too.
Yeah. So multifaceted, which a lot of us are. Uh-oh, looks like you have another person that loves Animal Crossing.
Send me
But
your friend code. Sorry.
you're good. But okay, so the waist beads journey, and like of course in the description I have everybody's information so y'all can go check her out. But I also put a photo of Niche too on there just so y'all can see that because she's very very talented and has an eye for things that I think most people don't. And it for me you're able to like capture depth in your photos when you take them. So, what inspires you the most? Like when you take a photo and you're like, oh, I want a picture of that.
Um, I have an awful memory, and when I was a child, one of the first things I remember is always like looking through my family's photo books. So I think that's really what inspired it. My dad always kept photo books. He still has a ton of them to this day. And I always remember going through them. And I mean, like the old school joints where you peel the plastic back and you put the picture and you peel it.
Mhm.
And so I love stuff like that and just being able to relive certain memories or learn about my family's history and stuff like that. That's really something, a journey that I'm really deep into right now, just trying to figure out where the, can I cuss on here?
Sure.
Okay, figure out where the fuck I came from. And so that kind of it started it. And then realizing I have an awful memory, I take pictures of everything just so that I don't forget. So you never see me without a camera. I'm documenting my kids all the time. I dibble and dabble in like the staged photo shoots, like family shoots and stuff like that, but it's really not what sets my soul on fire, if you will. I really like candid photo shoots and street photography. And one of my dreams is to have a series of coffee table books with different themes. Like I would love to do one of like gold teeth, just people wearing gold teeth. I would love to do one of like children interacting with their grandparents. I would love to create one humanely of our unhoused community or
Mhm.
our community of people transitioning when it comes to their gender identity and
Mhm.
so things like that, the more nuanced subjects that one, are avoided in conversation, or two, just doesn't get the amount of attention that it needs. I like to just document those things.
I love it. Basically, you're an archivist, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've been researching that too. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Hmm.
and I think that especially nowadays when people are kind of getting back into the physical media, that's
Hmm.
really a good type of thing to get into right now. And the topics that you mentioned that you want to really document and have as coffee table books or topics that a lot of people need to get on, because for me it's like especially like take the gold teeth for instance, like
Hmm.
it's one thing that it goes in and out of style in celebrity culture, but like in the South where we're from, it's there always, it ain't.
Seriously, I should have put mine
Yeah.
in today.
Yeah. Exactly, like it's always there, it's not a fad, it's not this that, so to be able to
Mhm.
document it on a day to day, not just when one of the big people have it in for their photo shoots, but all the time. I would love something like that, love to see something like that, and even documenting someone as they're transitioning as well, I think will be interesting. And the children and the grandparents, just because that
Mhm.
relationship spiritually, children and grandparents, is just so integral, and like it really is, like children and grandparents have a secret way of communicating that children and parents don't. So to be able to
Yes,
get
they
that
do.
in a picture format would be beautiful. I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do a lot with my kids and their grandparents because they don't play about each other. Yeah, and I just like to kind of think back to the first core memories that I recall, and one of them is like my grandma cooking in the kitchen, fixing breakfast in the
Mhm.
kitchen. My aunties all had that go-tos on the side. Now I
Mhm.
have one. So yeah, I think that's important, and especially to get it in a physical form that's organic. And this is no shade to AI because I do think that it has its benefits and it's helpful when it's used correctly. But I feel like these more organic memories and just means of documentation are important before, AI completely takes over.
Right, that part. So we met on Threads. Do you
We
remember?
we did. I do. Let me tell you, Threads has been a blessing to my life. So every year around my birthday, I like to get a reading done. And I think I just put a blast out there. And I was just like, hey, we could do a reading around my birthday. And like, I got a lot of responses. And I mean, I got a lot of responses from people that I know, like Niche, go here. Niche, this person is literally up the street from you. Like, I got a lot of responses, but yours, number one, your business acumen is amazing, and your sales follow up is amazing. And so I think like that was what attracted me. One, because I in my past life I worked in sales, but
Mhm.
then two, it was just something energetic. I'm like, I wanna go in this direction, and I offended a couple people. Honestly, a couple of my friends were like, "Oh, you didn't check out my girl," and I'm like, "You must got a cut or something," but no, I didn't. Um, but yeah, I think it's really cool how we met.
Yes, I do too. I'm very grateful for it too. Like Threads for me has been a gift and a curse, but like when I'm on it, I'm used. Like I meet some amazing people, and I'm very, very grateful to have met you on there. And so, like you stated, I did do a reading for you first. What um
Mhm.
what changed you, made you want to go from the reading to being a part of the collective?
Oh. I did want to get a reading done by someone who didn't know like anything about me at all. And even with our reading, you just touched on so many relevant points. And I think just the way that you were able to get the message across. I mean, you've delivered some I don't want to say hard messages, but like very pointed messages like girl, you know what to do. You know what I mean? And the way you're able to deliver that in a way that's received and like not just didn't come off offensive. I guess you it's kind of like Jill Scott. If you can tell me what to do, you can tell me what to do. If you can't tell me what to do, I'm not
Mhm.
going to listen to
Yeah.
you.
Hmm.
But your delivery, your expertise, your knowledge, it's like I respect it and I listen to it and it has not failed me. So that's why here we are.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. I'm really, really glad to hear that. Danielle said that there was something energetic about Mandisa. She knew how to get the folks.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They
Oh yeah.
Thank you. And hey
Absolutely.
Marie, thank you for joining. Yes, I do remember that reading, and I remember like you reaching out about the collective. And I want to say that you were like a major, major, major inspiration about like this time around, being able to like offer a scholarship. And you have a way of putting it in your words. I'm gonna let you say it in a
Oh
moment.
yeah.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna let
So when Mandisa and I were talking about this, and she asked if it's okay if she touched on scholarship, I was like, of course. But disclaimer, I'm not a broke bitch. Just got to put that out there. I am not a broke bitch. I did not claim that. I'm just in between blessings and again going through a transition. Um, and I guess I could touch on that a little bit too. Like I said, I used to work in tech sales, so um, it's sales and it's tech, two of the most lucrative, um, I guess, career paths there are. And I did it for probably like 10 years, and I was good at it. And it literally almost killed me. I was in the hospital for vertigo that was caused by stress, um, heart issues that was caused by stress. My gallbladder went, and that was caused by like blood pressure and cholesterol issues. Just, when you're investing so much in a corporation, you're not taking care of yourself, something's bound to break. And I have three babies, and I didn't know them. And so I stepped away from my career that was paying, well over six figures, and embarked on something else. I literally went from full time tech sales to part time nonprofit marketing assistance, and the income, but the happiness and the peace went. So it was like this.
Mhm.
Um, and so when Mandisa started offering this program, I was like, oh, I think that would be great for me. It was right in tandem with some intense therapy that I was going through. And I'm like, this will help to get me on course in a way that sticks. But I ain't got that money right now. So, um, they say if you don't ask, the answer is automatically no. And I just asked if there was a scholarship offering. And thankfully it was something that Mandisa considered. So yeah. But I'm not a broke bitch.
Yes. As she states that she's in between blessings, as we
There it
all
is.
are, as a lot of us are right now. And so I love that, and I love your story because there was a lot of similarities between our stories. Like I too had to leave the matrix, is what I call it, due to burnout.
Hmm.
Like I was in logistics sales, and that too is very
Mm.
lucrative, but logistics is where's my stuff, need my stuff. If you know
Yep.
anything about supply chain, everything that you have in your possession came to you because of logistics. There was
Hmm.
somebody like me on the other end responsible for making sure it got where it went so that you could get it. And so like for me, like hearing your story and like just knowing you, I was like, oh wow, there's just so many similarities. And I was really grateful to hear how you were utilizing the collective experience that we were having, like with ritual in the classes and with your therapy. Because,
Hmm.
like you've shared, like you've gone through anxiety, you've gone through like some deep, deep like mental health things too. And I always tell people like the spiritual work, we could dive deep. And if you don't have a good support system, it can be difficult to manage on your own. So what is that support system for you? And so when you brought that into to me, like, okay, I'm actually going to see my therapist. I'm here on Sundays and I'm with my people on this day. Like,
Every Wednesday, I'm on that lady couch.
talk to
I
me
just
about.
graduated though. She
Oh,
just graduated
good.
me. So instead of it was twice a week, and now we're going to every other week.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
Beautiful. I'm so happy to hear that. Like, so happy to
Thank
hear
you.
that. But yes, like, tell me how that was though, like from doing the collective and then doing therapy and like diving deep into spiritual work and ancestor work and all of that jazz and having that mental health. What were those things like?
Yeah. So it kept me busy. I'll say that for sure, but in a good way. And in the beginning, I think I told you, I'm like, why am I tired all the time? Like it was exhausting. And I think it was just those intentional internal changes. You don't really realize how much energy that expels because, with you, I'm tapping into my ancestral veneration and journaling and mindfulness. And then with my therapist is radical acceptance and also mindfulness and really being intentional about changing the way that I think. And it was just like, whoa, like I would sleep all day. Um, and so that was one of the changes that thankfully I've kind of moved out of. But I think the biggest thing was just informing my circle. Like I mentioned, like I have my wife, I have parents and kids, and so I had to like make sure that they know these times are blocked off. You really had to be intentional about setting those boundaries. And then through you and my therapist's guidance, I also had to start incorporating time for my own self care. So like my schedule filled up quick, and I'm just like, wow. But it was all like feeding myself. Um, and through because the program started about a month and a half ago,
Yeah,
and I started
February.
therapy in yeah, in January. So like really in tandem. And through that, I've lost some friendships that needed to just kind of fall to the wayside. I've had to have some stern conversations to assert boundaries. I've been doing more out loud when it comes to my spirituality. Like for instance, like we're in the process of moving, and I'm like, nope, before we go in this house, we got to cleanse it, and that's can be something that is unnerving if you're in a partnership because you don't know how your partner's going to receive that. But thankfully,
Mhm.
mine is amazing, and accepts and supports all of that. So really, it's been an intentional walk towards my authentic self and really just being who I am without being afraid and letting whatever doesn't fit within that kind of fall to the wayside. But I've also established a lot of beautiful relationships and partnerships throughout the process too. So it's just been a big ball of changes.
Mhm.
Um, I think I told my wife the other day, I'm like, financially we are in a different space than what we might be used to, but also mentally we're in a different space because we are so much lighter and so much more at peace and like really just able to say, whatever happens, happens. Like, like my anxiety was debilitating at one point,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
debilitating. And I just don't be giving a fuck, and I think it's just because I know it's all gonna work out one way or another. And I think, when you have that affirmation within yourself and when you know that you're a good person, that's really all you have to hold on to.
Yes, I love that. Um, someone had okay, there's this book, I forget what book it is, but they in that book they mention that spiritual growth and financial growth, they don't necessarily they can't happen at the same time. Like
Mm-mm.
like so do you agree with that?
Let me think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Of course, my first instinct is to say no.
Mhm.
Um, mm, I do feel like you have to be at a certain level of like grounding's not the right word, but you have to be at a certain level of spiritual maturity
Mhm.
for your to be able to make sustainable
Mhm.
because you're not chasing just anything anymore. Once I feel like when it comes to having that spiritual maturity, that goes hand in hand with having firm values, that goes hand in hand with having firm boundaries. And those things are really integral to being able to agree to any means of making income,
Mhm.
and making sure that's sustainable. Cause like when I go on my job hunt, for instance, I know like what is acceptable and what's not,
Mhm.
period.
Mhm.
And it's going to make that search a little bit harder,
Mhm.
but on the other side it's going to be an alignment there that I haven't had before, because before I had that spiritual maturity and that love for myself, because that also was a byproduct of being spiritually mature. I would just take anything
Right.
and burn out and then take something else and then burn out, and then the income was going like this.
Mhm.
But now it's just like I know what my values are, I know what I'm not going to compromise, and that comes from doing this work and really having those discoveries. So
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I definitely think that there's a alignment that has to occur because to your point, when you're not stable and you're spiritual, like spiritually grounded, you're desperate. You're in a state of desperation, or you're just
Mhm.
clueless. Like, I'm gonna just do whatever because it pays. And then there are points where now I'm at a state where I look at the job description and I can see in the job description you asking me to be burned out, or you
Oh
asking
yeah.
me to operate in a mindlessness state. You're asking me to be in a chaotic in a toxic environment. In your description, your job description, let me know straight up. Old me
Exactly.
was like, "Oh, I can do that."
If the word grind is in the description, run. You don't want to grind. You're not a family with these people. Like, yeah, and you do become your discernment becomes a lot higher. And then also the messages that you're giving to yourself are different. And that affects the outcome,
Yeah, yeah.
because if you're desperate and you're telling yourself, I don't, if you have a mindset of lack, that's where you're going to be.
Hmm. Hmm.
But when you have that do that work and have that maturity, it really affects the thoughts that you allow to process.
Yes. There are a couple of things in the chat. First of all, thank you, Rachel, for joining.
Oh,
Okay.
high energy environment.
Yes,
Nope.
that high energy environment. Say no.
I do not thrive there. Nope. Mm-mm.
Or they'll be like, can handle a lot of change, a lot of things changing at a split
No.
notice. Or
Mm-mm.
what do you mean? Andrea said, as a somatic coach, I always tell people I would prefer them to also have a therapist while they work with me. It's so important to have a
Mm.
solid support system when doing all the healing work. So true. And
Can adapt to change,
yep.
or more tasks may be added as needed. No, I'm here to do this. That's it. What you mean?
Or can
Mm-mm.
multitask. Multitask with what? My on my
Multitasking. You shouldn't want your employee to multitask because that means something's gonna get dropped.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-mm.
So but but yes, I love that. I love that. So okay, we touched on a lot. I want to also say that everybody in the collective is a mother. Y'all let me claim mother because I have a cat and I appreciate you, but I I look at y'all as mothers, okay?
I believe
Um, Danielle and Stephanie, their children are grown for the most part. You and Aaliyah, who Dr. Aaliyah's money, as y'all know. I will be interviewing her next week. But you and Aaliyah, y'all have the youngins, right?
Mhm.
And so I get a lot of people who ask me about the collective, like, should I join this with my children? Is it going to be okay? Like, am I going to be able to do it? As a woman with young children, a spouse, all the other things you got going on, how would you say the collective fit into your life? And do you feel like it was accommodating to your life?
Oh gosh, yeah. And I'm very transparent about that. Whenever we had meetings, you would say my cat might run. I said my kid might run in. Um, and it was always extremely welcomed. Um, I never felt like my kids were being a nuisance or anything. Like we have a very good system about respecting boundaries and space. Like you, for the most part, wouldn't even know if they're here right now because they know mommy's doing what she needs to do. But there are some times that they will sneak in or what have you, and it never was an issue. But also, I think if you're deciding to enter into the program, there is a certain level of seriousness that has to come with it. Um, and those boundaries, you just have to be set to the best of your abilities because there is you want to be able to focus and really receive the messages and things like that. Unfortunately, I had a surgery that put me down a little bit and got sick. And so I did miss, I think one or two. Um, and you have to, make space for that too, because life's always going to happen. So while you are able to be there and be present, you just want to make sure you're able to do that to the best of your ability. But I also think that the things that I've learned in the collective have already rubbed off on my kids. We've been spending a lot more time out in nature and trying to intentionally not be on the screens so much, and really just also understanding that like everything that you need is really already within you. So like all the extra shit you can let go. I'm in the process of a huge downsizing that I'm looking forward to because it's like I don't need all this stuff. And
Mhm.
so they are also realizing that as well. So the messages and the lessons that I've learned are, definitely helping to shape them as well.
I love that because when you do the work, I always tell people ancestor work is intergenerational, meaning it affects not just your lineage, but your people who are living as well. So your mama, your children, like everybody, it affects them. And they
Mhm.
begin to do and model what you do. Um, and two, on that point, like we talk about how doing work out of ourselves is causes burnout and causes us to die, literally a slow
Mm,
death. Um, and spiritual work is real work. That's the real work. So all of
it
that
is.
tiredness that people feel, like therapy is important too, but hydration is extremely, extremely important because you burn calories when you're doing this work. Even when I tell people, if they're doing vipassana, if they're doing meditation, if you're sitting still, if you're doing spiritual work, you're burning calories that you're not even aware of.
I've
Um,
lost 30 pounds since. So a couple things I want to touch back on your previous question as far as like the
okay.
accommodation, and just also lean into the relationships that have been built. Because I'll say that before I met you, before I entered the program, I was always the one who did all the things. Like if I had a friend that needed help, I was the one doing
Mhm.
that, filling in that gap. Like I mentioned, I had surgery that had me down for a little bit, and my sisters within the collective sent food for me, the family, and I'm just like, and it was so hard to accept because that is just so against my nature. But I think everyone, especially Stephanie, was like, no, like you are loved. You need to accept it and embrace that you're loved. And you were checking on me all the time. And so, if I had been scared or timid and say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this because I have kids and they're going to be blasting Bluey in the background," I would have missed out on all of those opportunities to build with these beautiful women. But yeah, I don't even know what sparked, like what the catalyst was for me to give up soda. But I do know a message that you repeatedly push is hydration, hydration, hydration. Get your water, get your water. I don't drink no water. I would drink 3 Pepsis a day and coffee. It was bad. Skin was bumpy. It was rough. Um, but like we met on December 9th or soon after. And I think I told you that like I was wanting to change my physical as well. And something at the year's turn, I just stopped drinking soda. I have not drinking soda since December 31st. And I've lost 30 pounds. I don't even have a desire for soda anymore. And now like the next step for me is really being more intentional about like the things that I eat and more mindful and more educated as well.
Mhm.
So I can continue to just get into my healthiest state.
I love that. See, the work works when you work. I
It's true.
love that. I love that.
Mhm.
That is such a beautiful testimony. Um, did you have any fears about what I guess you kind of touched on the fears of what your children were joining, like if it would be too much. And but were there any other fears that you may have had for joining?
I don't think I had any fears on the front end. I had fears on the back end because,
Okay.
like I mentioned, I'm my therapy is about to decrease in session, and then we are approaching the end of our ongoing our I guess regular meets. And so it's just like, okay, this time next month I'm gonna be on my own. Like just making sure that all of the practices and all of the lessons are um kept up, especially as I do prepare to mindfully enter back into corporate America. I guess the fear or slight anxiety I feel is more so around that, because it is easy to fall back into old habits.
Mhm.
Even if it is a traumatic, toxic situation, if it was comfortable for you at one point, it might be
Mhm.
comfortable for you to fall back into it. And I just
Mhm.
do not want that to happen.
Yes, yes, we're not claiming that. You know, we're not claiming that. It's
Love you,
progression.
Stephanie.
It's progression. So let me read some of the things. Miss Aquarius and Hazel, hi. Um, yep, the cohort had me stop eating meat, and I was like, why? Sometimes spirit demands us to give things up in order to align with our higher selves. That's what Stephanie said. That is so true. You know, sacrificing
Hmm.
comes in many ways. I think, especially in the tradition that I'm in when it comes to Ifa, people always think about sacrifices like blood sacrifice and you get an animal, blah, blah, blah. There are going to be moments in your journey and in your life where you can't be able to do all of that. Sacrifice comes with what you're able to give up on a day to day basis,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and consistently as well. It could be simple as intaking more water, getting rid of more meat, covering your head, wearing lighter colors. Those are sacrifices, right? So it's like those things that you're used to doing, that's what can cause you and call you higher. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Hazel said I can feel that. But yes, yeah, you are stuck with us. That is very that is a fact. That is a fact. And next week is our final meeting, but I'll talk in that session about like ways in which we can all be together and other experiences too that we can all join in on together. Because I think that you know we didn't. I don't think when I put it out there. First of all, I didn't say, hey, I wanted all women. I didn't say, hey, I'm looking for all Black women. I didn't say, hey, like I just said, here's the Embodying Spirit Collective. Anybody who wants to join, join. And it's still like that, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the people who are drawn to it have just been Black women. And it's like I can't help that. One, two, I love that that's happened organically because it
Mm-hmm.
has been a safe space for us to kind of just join and create a family that I don't
Yeah.
think any of us realized was about to happen. Right?
No shade to men, no shade to men, but there is just a certain level of relatability that just exists because of the way that it is. And see, especially if you're on the socials, you see cohorts, workshops, classes, all this stuff thrown out so often. And so sometimes it can be hard to like shuffle through and have the proper discernment to know which one is legit and has the right intent behind it. But like with this that you put together, I never questioned. I never had any like ick feelings or anything like that. And so, I really hope that in future
Mhm.
programs and the people that even think about it, at least explore it. Like my marketing brain, I'm like, is there like a little teaser you could do just to kind of give them a little insight without too much?
Yeah.
Um, because it is scary embarking on this, especially investing your money, because
Mhm.
there is so much crap out there right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
what you put together is really beautiful. And as far as like just how everything happened to manifest, I just noticed like I could be wrong, but a lot of times men just don't want to show up. Like even if the platform is there for them, they just don't show up. That's something that was talked about a lot when I saw Deontay Kyle over the weekend. Like,
Mhm.
oh, we need these spaces for men. The spaces are there. Y'all don't show up.
Mhm.
Like, what do you want to do?
Mhm.
So, but yeah, the way it was supposed to work out is how it worked out, in my opinion.
Yeah, very, very true. Sometimes you just have to get out the way and let spirit do what spirit's gonna do. Um,
Hmm.
I do think this is like the first, like we had the perfect tincture of like first women for like my first kind of experience with doing a cohort by myself, solo dolo. Um, like, cause I was
Oh yeah,
like,
the rate needs to go up. Absolutely, the rate needs to go up. I feel like I tell people that all the time, like because I work primarily with nonprofits, and here in the community, I made it a point to work with queer nonprofits and black led nonprofits, and they bring me their pricing, and I'm just like, or they're just like, yeah, and I offer this for free, and I'm just like, why? The price needs to go up.
it's
But that's
nine
another
weeks.
conversation.
Yeah, it's 9 weeks, y'all, for $300. And to that point, I have seen people offer just 4 meetings for like 450, like or like $500. So it's a really good price. The
You're
price
not
was
telling it all. It's nine
okay.
weeks for $300, and you get half off of any other program while you're in the cohort. So you have 2+ months to get your coins together to get something else at half price, and the accessibility. Like I can text Mandisa probably at 2 in the morning and she'll answer, or put it in a group chat. There's a group chat, so there's always that connection. So there's just so many ancillary benefits that come with it that I don't even feel like, you know, it just happened organically, yes, but it's still an ancillary benefit as a result of what you put together.
I appreciate that. I'm really bad at at sales. I know I came from it, but when it comes to like me talking about me, I'm just not good at it. But I do
That's why you
appreciate
have
you.
us.
I appreciate you. That kind of brought tears to my eyes a bit. I appreciate you.
Oh.
And I do want to say it's $300 now because it was it was set up by Spirit to be 300.
Okay.
So I move with Spirit. I'm very intentional with what Spirit says. Like this was divine on by Ifa. Took it to Baba Ifa. I was like, this or this. What should I do? And
Hmm.
if I was like this, and y'all, I want to see if I was like, okay, it be like $200, $220? If I was like, no, doesn't need to be lower or higher. It needs to be more. And so it was 300. And so that was the price. So I was actually going to do it for cheaper. And if I was like, So
So are
it
y'all
could,
gonna reconvene? Are y'all gonna reconvene before the
we
next one?
probably will. Maybe not for this next one because I already put it out there that is, or maybe that's why, I don't know. I put it out there already for this next one that is set up, the next one set up. But the next one, I'm gonna be like, And so there's a, oh, bye, Misha. But there's a scholarship there available for y'all too. Like there's free spaces available and there's half prices available. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have two signed up already for the free spaces. I may be willing to let one more sign up if it makes sense, but right now I'm only seeking for the half price off. And I have one person that's going to help me with the energetic exchange portion. But I don't think I'm looking for more on that. I have to sit with that a bit with the energetic
Hmm.
exchange one. But I'll put all the information in the description when I post this. But let me read some of these comments before I um thank you, Misha. I missed that. Thank you, Hazel. She said so much abundance, great price. Daniel said yes, you need to charge more.
She never said shit.
Stephanie said I'm going to drop the rack on it. Um, the people giving our flowers, Mandisa. I appreciate it, Nubia. Saying you deserve that exchange and support them, Mandisa. Thank you, Jay. Marie said, I can't sell water to a man that's been in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights.
You just got to tell a story. It's all in storytelling.
um, See you later, Andrea. You have a good day. Or is it Andrea? Sorry. But yes, okay. So, what has been your biggest takeaway so far from the collective? Like, out of all the things we've touched on, because we've done a lot. Like, it's part lecture, and then we do ritual. So for each session, so you're not just getting me talking to you for a full hour. I'm very big on people going into because it's called Embodying Spirit Collective. It's not embodying whatever Mandisa tells you. So it's important. It's always important for me to leave time for people to process and yeah, and sit with in various different type of rituals. What has been for you out of all the things that we've done thus far, from ritual to lecture, the thing that has stuck out the
Mhm.
most?
Oh man, I need to think about that for a sec.
Mhm.
I feel like I take so many notes, and I'm over here like, can I pull up my notes real quick? Um, I will say that one thing that I've thought about probably the most is building a solid connection with my womb, because if you would have asked me before, I didn't even know what that meant. Like, what does that mean? Um, and so that's something that I want to be very intentional about expounding upon even after this particular cohort comes to a close. Um, and just staying very intentional about that. We already talked about the drinking water part. What else? Honoring my Ori. I hope I said that right. is something that I have also incorporated in my morning routine. And I've already noticed a difference with how I'm thinking and also the outcomes that have been occurring. Um, mm, 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 mm. Those are the biggest ones I can think of offhand, but definitely like the womb work. I feel like I've been very intentional about, and I want to connect even more because everything that you teach us, especially when it comes to that, I'm like, okay, I have to make sure that I'm instilling this in my children, yes, but that especially my daughter. I have
Mm-hmm.
a 5-year-old daughter. So I'm like, I have to get this to make sure that she's not lost in the sauce when she's my age. Um, so yeah, I think something else is gonna come to me, but offhand, those are the biggest ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, actually, more is coming to me. Tying in our astrology, like how we just recently talked about, like our North Node, um, and how that kind of shapes how we're thinking and how we can use that to get to where we want to be. That has definitely been something that I've been spending a lot of time researching. Um, and also like the poetry and how you've incorporated that. If I'm being honest, at first I'm like, why are we doing poetry? But and at first I didn't think anything was going to come to me. But every time like something's come to me and I shocked myself, like, okay, well, don't know where that came from. Um, and that has helped me with my creativity and also being I feel like I'm more okay now with being seen, which has made me more okay with not being seen. And I know that sounds weird, but it's like, my creativity ebbs and flows. It does have a lot to do with life, but also has a lot to do with my mental state and capacity. And I'm constantly creating, like I'm always creating. But now I'm just having better discernment about what needs to be kept to myself versus what needs to be put out there. And I don't feel an urge anymore to be accepted, I guess, in a way, or have a certain spotlight on me and what I'm doing. Like I created this, everyone look at it and like it.
Mm-hmm.
What I feel I guess it's more intuitive now. Whatever I feel compelled to put out there, I do. It's received the way it needs to be received. And then also I'm more intuitive in the things that I'm creating just for myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that also is a way to reduce burnout as well.
Mm-hmm. I love
I said a
that.
lot.
No, no, that was all good though, especially with the poetry piece, because people don't understand poetry for real. Like I think we think about poetry in terms of like, should I compare these to a summer's day? And it's like, no, I'm like way hotter. Uh,
And it's so funny. No,
but
seriously though.
but poetry, the true poetry, it started as a form of divination. Like poetry
Hmm.
is the language of the oracles. Like what is the reason you do spiritual work or you seek an oracle is for healing. So for me, I've always wanted to do reclamation work around poetry, and that's the way I've always dealt with it. Just in the beginning, in a very toxic way because I was really SI. Um,
Mm,
and so all of my poetry was depressing in that way. And it was very like self-deprecating. As I've transformed myself, I did it through the pen, I did it through poetry. So I'm really big on showing others the way and how to do that with their pen because we don't know, especially as women with this womb, what we can all transmute and transform with our womb and with our pen. So when we do those that womb work, we start off in the collective with womb work. We starting heavy, right? And so when we
mhm.
when we transmute those things and we train that pen to speak highly of ourselves, to acknowledge some elfish too, and alchemize it in that same sentence, we that's what we're doing. Like that's the what
Mm.
the beauty of poetry is when we look at it like that. See you later, Stephanie. And
Hi,
then that's
Stephanie.
and then when you touched on the you said water park. There was something else you said. It'll come to me. Let me read this.
But I think that also could be an offering in itself. Like, again, marketing mind.
Yeah.
Um, because the womb writing connection or just connecting to your womb in general, that's not something we're taught.
Yeah.
I wasn't, you know, and I think that is definitely a gap. We look at the womb as something to be used,
Hmm.
and I feel like through the cohort, I really learned that that's not how it should be.
Hmm. I think you're right too with that. Like I have this one-on-one experience with people that can journal with me for 3 weeks. It's called Access Your Inner Oracle. And then there was this other the other collective that I was gonna try to do the book of self cohort that you messaged me about. That one is going to go deeper into, there are enough people that sign up for it. I don't think I need this. Even if one person signs up for it, I still do it because I do want to take people deeper into the womb and writing. And with that one, it's using your pen to transmute and transform, and using your womb to do that. With the Embodying Spirit Collective, we're it's more so some of everything, right? We're going through the signs, astrology, numerology, the chakras, like everything, and packaging it in itself and teaching others how to embody that for themselves and what those things mean for themselves. But with the book of self, it's like, all right, I know all of that stuff, but me though, let me go deeper into me. So
Hmm.
that's what that experience is for. But I to your point, I have a real big gap when it comes to marketing. um,
That's why you have me.
yes, yes. We gotta talk after this.
For sure.
Mhm.
See, speak of the
The
devil. Hey,
babies.
girl. How you? It's
Hi,
just fine.
baby.
Say hey, Titi Mandisa.
Hey.
You have a good day at school? Hey, boss man, you good? You feel okay? Okay. All right, let mommy finish your meeting, okay? All right. Shut the door, please. See, that happens all the
Yep. That is how
time.
it is, y'all. That's how it is.
Oh,
Um,
I'll tell her you said hey, Danielle. Thank you.
um, Marie had to drop. I'll see you later, Marie. Womb to writing, healing. Poetry is so. I think Nubia said poetry is a teacher of the people. Hazel, poetry is so healing. It is. Um, Jay, poetry can be such a release valve, but also a lovely way to transmute and hear the parts of you that may be hard to tap into. That part.
Oh, that's another coffee table book I want to do too. Because I go to a lot of like open mics,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I wanted to capture the performers and just like have a line of their piece.
Mm-hmm.
But the open mics out here are trash. So I may have to expand. And I think that's why I didn't see the relevance and the importance of poetry with what you were teaching. Cause I'm like, all the poets here talk about is sex. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
People abuse it. But people abuse
Hmm.
everything. Everything that was meant to heal us, what has really been abused, from music, poetry to even things, food, water, everything. Like symbols and numbers have even been abused. Like everything
Yeah.
is energy, and everything because of that can be used for good or bad. Would you consider making some zines in the meantime? You're talking to Niche, right? I think she's talking to you.
Somewhat.
Some
Making some
zines.
what?
So you know the zines without.
Oh, yes. I admire yours, but I never really thought about doing it for myself. But I think that's a
Mhm,
really, really good idea.
mhm,
Um, wow. I really like that idea.
mhm,
Got the wheels turning for sure. Because, a marketer is kind of like a hairstylist. The
mhm,
hairstylist hair is never done because they're doing it for everybody else. And so
mhm,
I'm trying to be more intentional about doing the things for myself that,
mhm,
you know, I get to do for everyone else. I really like that idea. I'm gonna write that in my notes.
mhm. Yeah, that would be good for you, especially since you're very heavy on imagery, and
Oh yeah.
zines really are very image heavy.
My
Um,
words are definitely shaped and inspired through the pictures. Like a picture is what's going to inspire like
mhm,
uh a poetry piece or a short story or something like that. It usually doesn't
mhm,
just come on its own.
mhm. And Nubia said
Okay,
that those two
Nubia.
things really had me. Yep, would love to see that
I'm
turn
gonna
into
I'm gonna
zines.
I'm gonna make it happen, and I'll
Mhm.
start posting them on Substack, and then
Yep,
maybe I can compile them all into a zine.
yep. Yeah. I've been trying to get her to post more on Substack because I know that you're like photographer and like that's your main medium. And you don't have to share with your pen, but sometimes share with your pen. So you
I
have to
feel
look.
like I feel like that's a bit of I don't know if it's a bit of trauma. I don't know because when I was growing up and in school and stuff, I was around so many like remarkable writers that I always kind of felt like mine was inadequate. And so I'm still working through that and just, realizing that whatever I put in the ethers, as long as I did it authentically and gave it my all is enough.
Mhm.
My Substack is notoriously niche. Let me see if I can type it in.
I'm mad you don't know it.
Well,
Marketing
my
it.
website is
Okay.
notoriouslyniche.com. You know how I feel
Bam.
about having your own having your own domain. I can talk about that all day. Okay, I'll
Okay.
put it in
Oh,
here.
true, true, true. Does it not
Stack.com.
let y'all subscribe to her from the live?
Yes, I should be logged in. There we go. So there it is.
Okay,
And
cool.
then notoriously niche. Do do do. .com.
Okay, cool.
Thank
So
y'all for checking me out.
yes.
I will push myself more.
Yes. That zine, I'm glad Nubia brought that up. That would actually be perfect for you. Um
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I definitely will figure out how to make that work. Especially like you mentioned earlier, everyone is going more so towards the physical media. Like, does anybody else miss Jet magazine?
Yes. I was just thinking about Jet Beauties of the week. I don't know why I've just been thinking about Jet Beauties.
See, we need something like that again. We really do.
And then everybody looked different each week. Like no girl ever looked the same. These, if you were able to do that, like they will all look the same every single week. But
Seriously.
like back in
Don't
the day, oh, it was
now
so different.
I'm gonna be up till 4 o'clock this morning putting together structure and layout for a magazine. It's gonna happen.
Love it, love it.
Okay.
If you need a contributor, I'm here.
Oh yes. You
Yes.
gotta have your collective message, whatever. You gotta
Yeah.
figure it out. And even is it I'm sorry if I get it wrong. I know it's either Danielle or Stephanie with the moon and all that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's so much knowledge between the five of us. Like, could you imagine once things build out even more? Yeah,
Yes. And that
that'd be
photography,
awesome.
that photo shoot idea that you had, oh, I can't wait for us to meet for that to happen. But okay.
Oh gosh, yeah. We gotta have our
Yes.
vacation.
Yes, we do. But okay, y'all. We know we can yap forever.
Literally.
um, some key takeaways. The Embodying Spirit Collective, y'all can go to my website, mandysamosi.com, click on programs, you can sign up there. If you went to or seen any of the other lives and you need a scholarship, the links for the scholarships are in the description of the lives. I also post those here, but I'll make sure to post the replay of this later tonight. Notoriouslyniche.com. And now you have up your waist beats and everything like that. And pretty soon we're gonna get some zines.
Yes. Yes. I'm excited about that. Yes. Like I mentioned before, I love working with beads and I make intuitive waist beads. So I will start posting those as well on my
Mhm.
Substack. And I love just helping Black women and the queer community with any sort of idea, especially like if you need marketing help or
Mhm.
just any
Yes.
ideas. So
Yes. Also for the marketing, y'all. I'm about to hit her up. Right
you know
after.
I got you. You know I
Yes.
got you.
But y'all, it's been lovely. I do appreciate y'all. Rachel said she just saw a lady who had her the bottom of her home into a museum. I love that.
My mom has 2 rooms in her house that are dedicated to being a museum. That's probably where I get it from.
Oh,
It's,
I love
I
that.
want to see also if I can turn my camera around. So these are my
Oh,
babies.
those are
I need to
beautiful.
send y'all some. So yeah, this is my therapy. It's making waist
Yes.
beads, and I've I meet with people and they tell me like what their goals are, or if they want to work with numerology or what have you. And
Mhm.
I just curate a piece and send to them. I've gotten people pregnant through my waist piece before. I'm proud of that.
Oh,
Thank you.
that that'll happen. See you, Danielle, and I'll see the rest of y'all too. I really do appreciate everyone for tuning in. This has been a very good talk for us, healing for the spirit. And thank you so much, Niche, for joining in and tuning in and being uncomfortable and choosing to show up anyway. I
Of
appreciate
course. And thank you
you.
for everything you do, Mindy. So you have a gift. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
I hope you know that.
Thank you so much.
Of
Peace,
course.
y'all. Gotta make sure I don't get pregnant. I'm sorry, Rachel.
I mean, yeah, protection. Protection is a thing. Just hit me up. We can make it happen. Or make it not happen.
Peace, y'all. Peace, Miss Aquarius.